Hi there, this is Michael Kramer of Mach Capital. Today is Tuesday, August 18th. It's around 4 p.m. New York time. So the rest of the week will not be a busy one. Wednesday, August 19th probably is the busiest of the days, and that's only because you're going to get Fed minutes released at 2 p.m. Eastern. Other than that, the calendar is really fairly light. Jobless claims on Thursday, August 20th, and then a few other leading indicators on the 20th as well. And then on Friday, August 21st, we'll be getting the S&P Global Flash PMI readings for the month of August, which will give us our first preview in terms of some of how the manufacturing and services sector are going and whether or not inflation pressures are building beneath the surface. When we take a look at currencies, the euro really hasn't changed very much. It did move up a little bit towards the 116.10 area, which is an area we have been watching now for a little bit to see if we could get above it. You can see I also have in here the 200-day moving average, which to this point we haven't tested it yet. I guess the one thing that is worth pointing out is that we have managed to move beyond the 78% retracement level, and that is a positive sign. And we have basically retraced the entire drop that was witnessed in mid-June. So at least from that standpoint, this pattern looks fairly complete. Obviously, if the euro is going to continue to rally, it really needs to get above the 200-day moving average at this point. Otherwise, I think there's a chance that you could see a little bit of a reversal here. Obviously, a decline below the 10-day exponential moving average would be an indication of a potential change in trend. When we look at the British pound, it's a very similar story where you can see that we have not really done very much more recently. The 200-day moving average is all the way down at 134, so that's certainly not an issue at this point. The only thing facing the pound right now is this resistance zone that's been built up around 135.5. You can see we've been testing that now on a few occasions. That corresponds to a high in mid-July and some levels of back in mid-May. RSI continues to basically trend higher. So at least from that standpoint, momentum still looks fairly bullish. Upper Bollinger Band also gives us room to continue to rise as well, up to around 136.1 if we can manage to get through this resistance region. If we can't get through resistance, the 10-day exponential moving average again can serve and tell us whether or not there is a change in trend happening. And if we do fail at that level, then I would expect that we would potentially see the British pound probably drop back towards the 20-day moving average and the 200-day moving average, which resides around 134.40. When we look at the Japanese yen, there's not really much going on here either, although it's kind of interesting to see that we've just really stalled out basically right around this 50% retracement level. If you measure it from the top all the way down to the intraday low, that's exactly 50%. So right now it seems like the market is taking its time trying to figure out exactly what its next move might be. The one thing that again stands out, you're above the 10-day exponential moving average, so that could be a short-term positive sign. You can see there's plenty of room on the Bollinger Bands for it to continue to expand. 20-day moving average is also higher around the 160 level, and the 200-day moving average appears to be holding as a support region as well. So my guess would be as long as we can stay above 159, that seems to be an indication that the yen could continue to weaken and potentially push higher versus the dollar. I think if we were able to actually break below the 200-day moving average and sustain that for a couple of days, we might be able to see the yen continue back down towards 157. Of course, to this point, the 155 level I still think is key. We haven't even gotten close to it. So again, right now I think the yen is consolidating, and it looks like we could be getting ready for a move higher if we can just manage to stay above that 10-day exponential moving average and the 159 level. If we look at Brent oil, you can see we're still very much in the bull pennant flag pattern that did develop and we did break out of. Clearly at this point we haven't really seen enough of a move to really classify it as being completed. Clearly we would want to see it continue to extend. Right now it just seems like we're consolidating around the 10-day exponential moving average and the 20-day simple moving average. Clearly you can see on the Bollinger Bands plenty of room for this to continue to move higher towards $100. And again, you can see also on the RSI, momentum continues to build favorably. So, I mean, overall, if this continues to be a bullish setup, then we would expect to see the Brent oil prices probably rise towards $100 a barrel, if not potentially further. If we see Brent really break below the moving averages, and more importantly, break below 88.5, which is a recent low point for Brent the last couple of days, that could signify maybe a reversal and that the pattern is going to ultimately end up failing, and that could result in us coming all the way back down towards this $81 to $82 a barrel level. When we take a look at gold, not much has really changed there. You can clearly see that gold did get a little bit overextended. We are moving back inside the Bollinger Bands. Gold also did get its RSI up towards 70, but not quite there. The 10-day exponential moving average right now serving as support, along with 4,320 serving as support as well, 4,450 serving as resistance. If we break back below the 10-day moving average, then I think there's a chance we probably revisit 4,000. If we can manage to get above 4,450, which to this point we've been failing at, then clearly there's room for us to move back towards 4,600. But again, the market will tell us probably what it will want to do in this case. The DAX had a really good run, and just like the U.S. market starting to struggle a little bit the last couple of trading sessions, clearly at this point we are below the 10-day exponential moving average, so another day or two below it. We need to start thinking that perhaps a change in trend is happening. Certainly when we look at it from a closer perspective, you can see that there was a little bit of an uptrend, and that appears to be broken. Looks like a break of support around 26,100 could lead to a further drop, potentially around 25,520, which appears to be the next area of consolidation, and which coincides with just above the 200-day moving average. Ultimately, there is a gap that also exists on the chart, currently around 25,100. So there is an opportunity, if this does pick up momentum, for us to trade all the way back down to that level, which was last seen at the end of July. The FTSE's really been struggling more recently. You can see it came back down below the 10-day moving average. Wasn't really able to surpass the previous highs up at around 10,900. Momentum is clearly showing signs of breaking down. We can see the RSI very close to falling below previous support regions at around 48. That also means that we could potentially see the FTSE continue to weaken further. The next area of support we're right now around 10,700. That was where the previous highs were back in mid-April and also back in early July. We also consolidated there for a couple of days in late July. So a break below 10,700 likely sets up a return. I think we even go right through the 200-day moving average back to probably around 10,400 or so. When we look at the Nasdaq 100, today we can see we've closed below the 10-day exponential moving average for the first time, really going back to the beginning of August. That I think is an important message. You can see the 50-day moving average right below it. We only really were able to get up to around the 78.6% retracement level, which is also important to note. And you can also see we clearly failed at the end of June highs around 30,250. So right now the market's telling us lots of resistance up ahead. I think if we get a break below the 50-day moving average at 29,300, call it, we could see a steeper decline, perhaps all the way back to the lows that we witnessed back in late July. S&P 500 today also closed below the 10-day exponential moving average. Again, also a bearish indication. Looks similar to the DAX in that we also broke what was looking like an uptrend. RSI is starting to show signs of rolling over. However, this is a little bit more constructive, I think, than the Nasdaq. I think we're looking at a reversal back to 75.70 or so. I think ultimately that's what's standing in the way. I mean, the upper Bollinger Band certainly can give us a little room to rise if it wants. The market could easily move back up towards 79.25, but we'll have to just see how that plays out. This obviously is also options expiration week, so we may also begin to start seeing a little more volatility in the market as some of those pinning effects from options begin to fade. Finally, when we look at the Dow, you can see it's been in a bit of a downtrend the last couple of trading sessions. We are below the 10-day exponential moving average now for the second day in a row. It looks like the 20-day moving average is next, with the 50-day down around 52,500. Again, ultimately, it looks like we're probably retracing a bunch of the gains that we saw at the beginning of August. If that's the case, then we're likely to see a return back towards 52,440 or so. Also, you can see RSI momentum clearly beginning to fade and rolling over with the bearish divergence that's formed with the lower high versus the higher high on the price index, a negative indication of momentum. Anyway, that's all we're going to have for this week. We'll see you next.